Good evening and welcome to Green Light and Banter.
Welcome, everyone.
I'm your host.
Greg.
I'm here with my pal Jamie. It is October 3rd, 2023.
Year of our Lord.
Time now is 5:48 p.m. As previously stated in our overwhelmingly popular trailer for this episode.
Thanks for all the listens, both of you.
So we suggested we're going to talk about the F word and the N word. And so we are. Okay, so for the uneducated out there.
Or uninitiated.
Our F word is failure.
That's the curveball.
The curveball. And the ever popular N word.
Negativity.
Negativity.
And they could be any F word or N word, just not the F word and N word, please.
Yeah. So we thought we would entice you to listen by throwing those topics out there because, what do they call those? Is that gaslighting or is that a hot button?
Yeah, possibly.
Hotbedding?
Maybe. Who am I to judge?
Maybe so. We will.
But we don't work blue, people. We don't work blue.
We don't work blue.
That means that we don't use foul language, so we wouldn't use the F word and the N word.
Yeah, we don't do that. We choose not to participate. We do not give words power.
Yeah, whatever.
So, let's talk about failure. I'm going to say the two words relate in that.
Oh, very much, yep.
And I'm going to say that failure is not always a negative thing.
No, absolutely not.
So, Jamie, have you ever experienced failure?
Absolutely. You better believe it. Very much so. You want specifics or?
Not just yet.
Yeah. I don't want to give them.
So my thoughts on failure are important, I think, specifically to raising children. So I feel like in our day and age that we have some parents that choose not to allow their children to fail when they're younger. Therefore, and henceforth, failure occurs at a later time when the failure is much more significant and more difficult to deal with.
There's the rub, because they're not teaching the kids how to accept failure at a later age, and oh boy, do they not accept it.
Yeah, so failure when you are 2, 3 is, it's a big deal to the toddler, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge thing. But if we allow them to fail at some smaller things.
Yeah. Do you think this is a direct link? I hate to be that guy, to participation trophies.
Quite possibly. I don't believe that that's as big of a thing as
You don't think that's a thing?
Everybody makes it out to be.
Okay.
Because, I grew up in the 70s and the early 80s, and we always got a trophy for the year. Now, some people got bigger trophies because they won. But
Are you talking about like at a banquet?
Sports banquet.
Yeah, you got a team trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say I apologize if I sound weird. We're trying a new microphone today, and it sounds very weird in my headset. But
does it?
Yeah.
Does it sound better?
I don't know.
So I think you've been sounding like you were sitting behind me.
Yeah.
And not using your own microphone. So
yeah. But they give out trophies in banquets and everything. But I'm not sure if participation trophies. Do they give them out like if you win the league? Is there league championship trophy still, or is it just everybody way to show up? Because there are leagues. I believe it's called Upward, where they don't keep score.
Yeah, well, that's a learning league.
I got something to learn.
When you've got 3 and 4 year olds playing basketball, I mean, most adults don't know the rules.
Right.
So the goal is to get them interested.
Yeah, as long as they're doing physical activity, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not like the scores are 60-58. It's normally 12-4.
No, it's like 1.
And it's well, I remember
Nobody scores.
When I was in those leagues, it would be I'd look back at our because I still have a bunch of our old books, score books. Like our coaches would hand them out at the banquets. They'd make copies of them. I look back and we'd win a game 23-13, and there'd be one kid that scored 20 of the points.
Yeah, that was Abby.
Oh yeah.
She usually scored all the points.
In a dudes league.
In a dudes league.
A league of dudes.
But I think that's different.
Yeah.
Because the goal is in that league, in the little tiny leagues, upward, it is to participate.
Yeah. So it's quite literally participation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You came and you participated.
As long as they're doing that and not on their phones. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. No, we're going to talk about phones?
No, we're not going to talk about phones because you're all hopped up on anti-phone.
Because that's a hot button.
Yeah, so we're going to lay off that.
It may become a much bigger topic in the county of Knox if I can figure out how to do it. So,
cliffhanger.
Look out. There are going to be some mad parents. Not nearly as mad as the children, but
who cares?
We can discuss that later because I think it may be my Samuel Adams moment.
Okay. Here we go.
I don't know.
But
sometimes.
Yeah.
So failure, I think it is important. So Saturday and Sunday we did popcorn sales at Kroger on Kingston Pike. It was fantastic. It was super hot. But what I experienced by observing the children is they experienced a lot of failure.
In popcorn sales or just in general?
In popcorn sales.
Okay.
Because it's a numbers game. It's a sales pitch. So, you got a second grader asking adults, would you like to buy some delicious popcorn?
In a time when very few people have cash in their pockets anymore, too.
Well, we take cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Point of sale. Easy. On
POS. You better believe it.
On an app.
All right. What times? What times we live in?
Yeah. Much easier than when my boys were little. Excuse me. But, so, a young guy, a little kid, is going to get frustrated really quick. Because, why am I doing this? Everybody says no. And it's like, next one.
Yep.
And then they get a sale.
Yeah.
So, the whole 2-hour shift, you're trying to convince these kids it's a numbers game. Not everybody's going to say yes. And no is an answer, and you can thank them.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying no.
Yeah.
Next. Who's next?
The one that says yes.
Right. So if you give up because they said no, you may miss the biggest sale. You may have this guy walk up and buy all of your popcorn just because he can. But if you gave up, you never know.
And boy, sales, man, that's a racket. That's something that I could never do. Is be a salesman.
You sell yourself every day.
Well, it's an easy sell right there. People are lining up for that purchase.
It's not really selling, is it?
No, it's presenting.
Presenting.
But no, I mean, yeah, the learning to fail is, and when I was growing up, my examples of learning to fail was stuff like the ramp I built would fall apart and I'd eat a face full of dirt. I failed at building a bike ramp. It hurt, but I learned to fail.
So you learn to maybe do it better.
Build better, yeah.
Maybe not use 6 cinder blocks stacked on top of each other.
Are you saying those 8 bricks that I put a board on wasn't stable? Because, man.
I remember my brother and I would do that. And we did it all the time. And one day we had an audience.
Oh, yeah.
The neighbors across the street had a roofing crew, and they were doing a new roof. And so these guys were watching.
Were they cheering you on?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then the one time my brother failed because we were jumping over flaming rags,
Of
towels.
course. Absolutely, as well you should.
And the towel got caught on his rear wheel and flipped up onto his back, and he set himself on fire.
Holy cow.
But I was there, and I put him out.
What was the bike?
I think at that time we both had these BMX bikes. I had a gold and silver BMX bike,
Yep.
and he had a red and silver. They were just alike.
What was your favorite bike?
Probably, my favorite bike was probably the first bike I got, and it was yellow, and it had the big handlebars and the banana seat.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what brand it was, but
Well,
yellow and black.
Do you remember I kept my favorite bike down at when we were car rehab down there? Did you ever see it? Jeff talks about it quite a bit.
I don't think so.
It was a Mongoose. It was
Oh yeah.
amazing. The front wheel was white, the back wheel was blue. The stem caps for my wheels were dice. The had a racing plate on the placard on the front, and this is the part that Jeff always references. And I apologize if this offends anybody, but it was the early '80s, so yeah, had a that little slash sign like on Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
It said had the slash sign around fat chicks.
I don't even know what that means.
Meant no fat chicks.
That is offensive.
Well, I'm sorry, but that was my bike back then. It was an amazing bike.
Well, you didn't know any better at the
Had
time.
pegs. Of course, I never once had anybody ride on the pegs. I didn't trust them.
But you had a Mongoose.
Mongoose.
I
baby.
think we never had like a name brand bike.
Well, I bought that from a kid on my street because before that I had a little cheap bike that was those disc bikes, and you remember the discs? They would be on the wheels, so you couldn't see the spokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those things shattered day one when I tried to rent them. But I know this is off topic. This is neither negativity or the F word, so we'll get back on topic. I'm sorry.
You failed.
You see,
This
I've
is
learned.
an example of Jamie failing.
Listen, this podcast is teaching me how to fail.
We've not failed.
Well, I'm not saying we failed, but I'd say the two people that listened to our preview was an indication that I have to step up my game.
Well, I think we need to do more remote podcasts.
See, you got to quit whipping that horse. It's going to die pretty soon.
I mean, you got to branch out. So failure.
Yeah.
And we all know the stories about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Failed.
Yeah.
Failed.
Yeah.
Everything failed. Ulysses S. Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Failure. I mean, he was pretty successful in the Mexican War, but
The 45th president of these states united has bankrupted himself many a time.
yeah. But he was there when the country needed him.
Yeah.
And then after the Civil War, he was there for the presidency
Yeah.
and didn't actually do a bad job.
Lincoln? Are you talking about Lincoln?
Grant.
Oh, Grant. Okay. I was like, no, Lincoln did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think hindsight, he did all right.
I think he could have done better had
Right.
things not happened.
Well, that's for another podcast.
Yeah, we won't get into vast history, but
Yeah.
I think failure is important,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing.
No, absolutely not.
It's only, to me, it's if you fail, it's only negative if
You allow it to
that's all as far
send
as
you
you
into
go.
a pit of despair.
Yeah, failure to me just means I need to try harder.
Do it different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Reassess,
Reassess.
make an assessment.
Yeah.
So negativity, I think negativity can lead to failure.
It can, most certainly.
I feel like I see a lot more negativity these days.
Guilty. I think I'm guilty of being fairly negative at times.
But why do you think? I feel like Americans in general are more negative. I know there's many reasons, but I think we have had it so easy for so long. We just expect everything to be easy.
Yeah.
And so when things get hard, or I don't know, we don't have that gumption we used to. In general, I'm
trying to think how to phrase this, but I think a lot of the negativity around is I don't know if it can be directly attributed to, but it feels like people misunderstand what America is. Like, I see people that expect, like the old saying, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think people expect happiness.
Yeah, you don't have to pursue it.
Yeah, there's the rub. That happiness is not guaranteed. The pursuit is guaranteed. That's not to say you're not going to be a miserable cuss at the end of it.
I feel like our government has gotten in the way of our pursuit of happiness.
Where I feel like our citizenry has gotten in the way of a lot of our happiness also.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I'll say this, not the majority, but the minority is the most vocal. And they're the ones that are dragging. When you look on social media, the vocal minority is a negative bunch and just dragging everybody down on these social media platforms. While I will agree with you that the government plays a hand in that, but I think I think true positivity lies in the nuclear family, which has been abandoned in America for the most part.
Yeah, I do. I feel that way too, but I do think that in spite of how people think about the new generations, the younger families currently, I guess they're millennials.
Yeah, millennials and Generation Z will be coming up shortly.
Okay. So I do think that those generations have gotten back to more family things.
I hope so. I haven't seen it, but I hope so.
I feel like it.
Okay, well.
I think the groups, the tweeners between, I guess, Y, not Gen X.
Yeah, that's me.
But the Gen Y.
Was there a Gen Y? I don't know. I've just heard Gen X, then millennials, and Gen Z.
I think there is. I don't know.
There's got to be a Y in there somewhere.
That's the grunge group. I don't know.
I think.
Look, I'm being negative.
Yeah, because grunge, I believe, is at the end of Gen X.
Why are you being so negative?
That's right.
But here's what I do think is going to happen. I foresee it. There's going to be a massive flip or a shift in this country soon.
From what towards what?
Well, you know, what do they say? Hard times make great men. Mm-hmm. Great men make easy times. Mm-hmm. Easy times make soft men.
Yep.
I think we've been in easy time.
Oh yeah, we've got the soft men out there.
So we're about to get hard.
Yeah.
Things are going to get.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Oh,
and I know they are.
Yeah.
Currently, but I think there's some things that are going to definitely have to change, and the whole kids and cell phone thing is not helping anything.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just a little too much.
Yeah.
So where do I get away from the negativity is to get away from all that. Mm-hmm. As we sit here recording this on our cell phone.
On your cell phone. Mine's tucked away because I'm...
But we're using it appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not for inappropriate things.
No, not at all. Lest we were to talk about the F word and the N word today, then yes, we'd be using it inappropriately. Yeah.
There's discussions to be had.
Well, but not.
I do have some strong opinions about certain things. But what other? Do you have any other F words or N words that can apply?
Not off the top of my head. Are you right now Googling various
F words? It could be in comparison to negativity. You could have the F word, fun.
That is an F word, yes.
I think, we should have more fun.
And in regards to what?
Life
in general? Okay, yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah. You can always have more fun. I've tried to have more fun all the time.
That's part of your problem. That's why you're such a failure.
A failure at having fun. Y'all keep dragging me down.
I failed.
Y'all keep dragging me down into the muck and mire.
So, talking about failure, what would you say was your greatest failure?
Oh crap, Greg. I don't know.
Your parents never let you fail, did they?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's just that I never would linger on it. I'd set it down and move on.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah. I don't have any regrets. If that's regrets a heavy bag. You got to set that down and move. No. I'm not. So as far as my failures go, you'd have to give me a week or so to come. I've had my fair share, but nothing that has affected me to the point where I feel the need to harp on it.
No, but those things are what probably made you.
Yeah, but what I would do is take whatever lesson to be learned out of it and move on.
So I think that's the thing for me. I think failure is a lesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you look at it that way.
Yeah. You look at any successful business person. How many times did they fail? Countless. You move on from it.
I have failed at business before.
Well.
So I tried really hard to market myself to open my own clinic. Mm-hmm. And I did everything I thought I could, all the work, and it just didn't happen. Traveled to different states to get backing.
But it just didn't gain steam.
I couldn't get the backing of referral sources, and I didn't have probably the experience I needed to make that happen. So I failed, but it did make way for someone else to do the same thing, and they were successful. It just wasn't me.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So they succeeded, and I did fail my first gross anatomy exam.
Well, yeah, as far as that stuff, I guess my first failure was 7th grade science. But that was back when they didn't give F's, they gave U's.
Unsatisfactory.
So
you didn't really fail.
Here's a story time. Yeah, so I come home from middle school with a U on my report card, and I was sitting there with my mother, and I was like, I got this U. So my mom's like, well, when your dad gets home, we got to tell him. I was like, okay. So we're sitting at our kitchen table, and my dad walks in from work, and my mom goes, well, Jamie got a bad grade on his report card, and I was like, what? He goes, yep, he got a U, and Dad goes, a U? What the hell's a U?
What's a U?
So yeah, I got grounded for 6 weeks until the next report card came out. So
a U is lower than an F.
I guess so.
That's almost a Z.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's
how you got a Z.
I don't know if that's the scale we're using, where it fits on the alphabet.
Well, A, B.
I thought you were getting ready
C,
to sing the alphabet.
D,
E, F.
What happened to E?
Everybody.
That makes no sense.
Everybody.
So I guess the alphabet doesn't work because
they skipped over.
They skipped the E. Why would they skip E?
Because it means efficient
or
efficacy.
Extraordinary.
I don't know what efficacy would play into it.
Efficacy.
So yeah, no, I mean I've had plenty of fails in my life, but like I say, and none of it's ever gotten me down. I just set it down and move on.
Set it down.
That's been one of the things that if I could advise anybody is just to not linger on anything like that. I mean, learn what you have to learn.
Well, I think there's a process.
Yeah.
And, you know, certain failures, there's probably a mourning process, you know, because you put yourself into this and there's a process to go through. But the key is, hey, let's look at this failure and see what I need to do what's next.
Yeah.
Or what did I learn from this?
There you go.
I've learned so much.
ABL, always be learning.
ABL. All right, well, I hate to be negative, but I think that just about wraps it up for today.
Okay, that's fine.
You don't have any fishing stories to...
Well, I would, but I can only be called a liar so much before I get negative and I feel like a failure.
So,
Okay, there's a failure. I'm terrible at fishing. I can't catch a fish, but...
well, you know what my dad always said?
Well,
They don't call it catching.
they call it fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time I went. Everybody's the guy I was fishing with was trying to coddle me during it. Going, I tell you, September fishing's hard, and he's pulling out 3-pounders left and right. I'm sitting over there like a
September
imbecile.
fishing's hard for you.
Yeah. Evidently, it's
That's
impossible for Jamie.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, jerks.
Well, I mean, maybe when you become the president of the Bass Club, you catch more fish.
Oh, that day's coming. That day is coming. I'm not going to become the president. I've told you, I'm going to put my buddy in place and wield power from behind like a puppet master. That's the goal. Always to be the puppet master, never to be the one out front. That's the guy that gets assassinated.
That's true.
Yeah.
The man behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The George Soros of
Yeah, there you
Fountain
go.
City.
Because if he doesn't please me, I'll replace him with another fellow, but I'll still be running things.
So, are you the man behind Kevin McCarthy?
How about that, USA?
Yeah.
Speaker of the House, out.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, that's politics. Dirty game, man. I would want nothing to do with
Well,
it.
if
I know you've thought about dabbling a time or two, but
yeah, but I think I'm
local politics.
I think I'm way too honest and
But that's what's needed in local politics, honesty, and that's where we're. Look, let's call it what it is. Your local politics are far more important than national politics, anyways.
well, and for your daily life.
Yeah, and that's all I care about anymore.
But apparently, you only need about 7,000 votes to be elected mayor of Knoxville.
Evidently, because that's all that turn out.
Yeah.
I mean, and then those people that don't turn out, I'll be hearing complain about certain situations. I was about to say specifics, but certain situations in our city.
Trash service.
Trash service, a certain situation of people that don't have homes. I might get to the polls, man, if you want to make a change.
Yeah, be the change.
Yeah, don't be a jerk.
Be the change.
Bunch of jerks. Sorry to insult people.
You're being so negative.
Well, you got me on this kick.
I know it's easy to drag you down the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many rabbit holes.
It's a labyrinth.
A labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Well, I guess next time we're doing a remote. Your mic's working pretty well.
What do you mean we're doing a remote next time?
Yeah,
you can't spring this on me.
You get to choose.
Choose?
Yeah, you get to pick the place.
I pick 1024 Dutch Valley Road.
That's not remote.
It's remote from my house.
We're already here.
But my thing is, you just can't spring remotes on me while I'm on the mic.
I just like pulling your chain, I guess.
Because I know people know that how I am, but we don't need to broadcast it.
I don't think anyone's talking about it except for you.
Oh. Well played, sir.
It's true.
Oh, it's true.
It is true. I think your mic worked better.
Do you? Well, we'll have to listen to this after. I may still sound like an imbecile.
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with the microphone.
Well, that'll about do it, everybody. We're going to wrap this thing up with one final insult towards me.
Yep. Not being negative, just completely positive.
Yeah, I'm positive about several things right now.
Positive. All right, until the next time.
Yep. Later.